Everybody, it's time for our weekly sheriff's report. How are both of y'all doing?
Doing good.
How has the week been? I mean, we had tons of rain.
We had rain, so that was a great thing. The lake filled up. Now they're flowing water out the dam. I even called Brazos River Authority the other day when they sent out their email that they were going to be flowing water out. And I called them and I thought, why are you doing this? And I said, why are you doing this? I said, you got to let the lake fill up. And they said, it is. About early part of the afternoon the other day, it started going over the spillway, so they had to start releasing some water. And then there's a lot of water coming down from Possum Kingdom. So that's a good thing. We got stock ponds full to overflowing and standing water that's soaking in. The lake is full, so life is good.
Yep, life is good. No more complaints about the lake.
Not for a while.
Yeah.
I know the judge and the commissioners, they probably have a lot of information for you about the meeting down in Austin the other day, which I've kind of talked to them, and I don't know what's going to happen with all of that. I know the senator and the state reps were there and fighting for Hood County, and I don't know what the total end outcome is going to be on that, but hopefully it'll come out good for Hood County.
Yeah.
But anyway, because of the rain this week, I think it kept people inside and kept people more calmed down. So this week we've been working still on that murder case, that robbery murder from a week ago, and that's keeping the investigators busy, all the follow-up on that. And as of last night, we got one of the murder suspects in jail, Kimberly Danielle Milwick, I guess how you say her last name, and she was arraigned this morning, and she was arraigned out there in New Mexico where she was caught, and the bond still stands at $1 million.
Wow.
So looks like she's going to be with us. Reagan, the original main suspect we got, he's still definitely with us and probably will be with us for the length of this case before it goes to court, because he's on a $1 million bond, and the investigation still is really continuing. It's just trying to tie up a lot of loose ends, and a lot of people are calling in with information, and some of it is third or fourth hand information that they heard from somebody, and it's the same stuff that we originally had in a lot of cases, but we want to make sure we talk to everybody and don't leave anybody out, and make sure we've got all the information we need to move forward on this case. So everything's going real well on that, and it'll be followed up on for probably quite a while into the future. The Rangers are still working with us, and my guys are staying busy on that all the time. Other than that, we had another incident where we had a traffic stop that yielded a drug arrest. So on the 23rd around 9 p.m., sheriff's deputy observed a driver speeding at 55 miles an hour in a 45-mile-an-hour zone on Highway 377 in Crescent. And upon contact with the female driver, she was 22 years old, and the male passenger, 20 years old, it was discovered that they were both in possession of 2 ounces of marijuana, or less than 2 ounces of marijuana, and so both suspects were arrested and charged with possession of marijuana under 2 ounces, and that's Class B misdemeanor, and bond was set at $2,500, and they're still in jail at this time. So there's always a lot of that going on out there. And, the drug guys, they are always investigating things. I always got them busy on a lot of different things, and we have weekly meetings with them because of all the information we've gotten. It's an uphill battle all the way to continue fighting the war on drugs, but it's kind of the root of all evil, drugs and alcohol. So we're going to do anything and everything we can to sort this out and stop it. So I think we're like, as far as the alcohol, we've got that grant this year from the TABC that we're utilizing some grant money to help fund overtime for the officers, and we're doing some stings, and we've gone to twice now to different businesses all across the county, and I think we're going to start working on some restaurants too, to make sure that they're doing what they're supposed to be doing and not selling to underage kids. So this program is going to fund itself into the future, it appears, and that's kind of unfortunate. It's good because then we can continue doing it, but it's unfortunate because it's people that have messed up and sold to the undercover people, and so they're into the system now, and so then it costs them money, but that helps fund this program. So they're getting ready to do another one of the classes to help those people, and that's what they have to go through. It's either go through these classes or go to court. Which do you want to do? They're coming to the class. So we've only had one so far that decided she didn't want either, and she took off, and so she's going to go to jail and go before the judge and take that route. And so she won't like that route, but that's the way it is. So we're going to continue working hard on drug offenses and alcohol, and trying to keep everybody safe out there.
Awesome. So is that's the only kind of thing that really happened, and then obviously the murder case is a big part of your guys' thing right now, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of things going on. We have it's every day is the same for my deputies. They run from call to call to call. The patrol deputies out there on the streets, and so there's always a lot going on. Unfortunately, there's some less serious stuff going on now than like last week with the robbery and murder, but there's still been the criminal mischiefs, the criminal trespass. I think there were some burglaries that we've got guys working on. So there's always something going on in the jail. One of the commissioners sent me an email the other day and wondering why the jail population is up, and part of that is just because of the arrests that we're making with warrants and on view arrest, and then after the person goes full circle through the system and finally goes to court, Judge Messina and Judge Walton end up giving these guys time in jail. So some are on their way to the penitentiaries, and then some are, I know of a couple of them that are doing 30 days in the jail and different things like that. So we have some weekenders because they're on work release, and then others were sentenced to jail for a period of time. So the jail population has bumped up. It's almost at 180, and the total jail population is supposed to be at 192. All our females are down at Somerville County, so that helps, but then we have their males up here, so we still got a very full jail. So it's just one of those things that the cycle goes up and goes down depending on the courts and all of that. But we always have a little extra room for a few more as they come in, so we can always accommodate them.
Well, then I guess then it's time for our Crime Stoppers Crime of the Week.
All right. Crime Stoppers needs information on the burglary of a building. This burglary occurred on Sherwood Drive on January the 14th between 1:30 a.m. and 2:30 a.m. Forced entry was made into a storage building, and the victim reported stolen a refrigerator and a fish cooker with a total value of $300. Anyone with information on this burglary can call Crime Stoppers at 817-573-TIPS, or you can go online at hoodcountycrimestoppers.com. You will remain anonymous, and if your tip leads to an arrest, you could receive up to a $1,000 cash reward.
I don't even know what to say. I'm so done with saying things about people taking things and stuff like that. It's just, so.
A lot of the items taken are sold so people can buy drugs.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Behind a lot of the thefts.
Well, y'all got anything else? It seems that when the fire marshal has a lot going on, you guys don't have as much to report on, and when he doesn't have anything to report on, you guys have lots to report on. So he had lots of stuff to talk about today. But
Well, I guess I don't know what all he talked about. I know did he talk to you about the a big meeting we have coming up in February with FEMA and the Nuclear Regulatory Commission? I could talk about that, but the judge really isn't very happy with the situation. I'm not really happy. I've been a part of the emergency management end of things, and now I'm the sheriff for a long, long time.
Yeah.
And the federal government wants to come in here and tell us how we're going to do things and mandate that the county spend money to make things happen, to make them happy. And it's all about taking care of the citizens, but this is for a drill. So it's, sure, we need to drill, we need to practice, we need to make sure we're ready for anything, whether it's a nuclear disaster the chances on that happen are very, very slim.
Right.
Slim to none. But we still have to do it so that Luminant can keep their license and provide nuclear power, which provides electricity for a big part of the population. So it's something that's not going to go away. It's something that needs to improve and get better and provide more energy out there for all the citizens as the population continues to grow. But they don't need to kill the county financially by requiring so much extra stuff. I've seen a lot of changes over the last 10, 12 years with all this, and a lot of it's because of 9/11. But they're getting a little out of hand. It seems that when the Constitution was wrote more than 200 years ago, they had an idea of how the federal government was supposed to work, and that's really the administration we have up there in Washington D.C. now is kind of twisting that and changing it, and they want to get into everybody's lives, and it's not what the original founders of this country wanted, and so we need to draw that line in the sand and say enough is enough, because it's just getting out of hand. And so here I wasn't going to say anything, but I said something. But yeah, I could have talked a lot. I was sitting in that same meeting yesterday with Brian and with the judge and the judge from Somerville County and a lot of other people, and it's frustrating. And we want the state of Texas to help back us, and they claim that they are, but we had some low-level officials that were on a conference call with us. Well, where's your boss? And I don't know. They don't have answers for us. So I sent off an email to hopefully we're going to get, I haven't got a response yet, and the judge replied to that email also, that hopefully we can get them in Austin to take notice. They were down there on Wednesday to get their attention in Austin about water problems and air problems and things of that nature. Well, we're going to stir them up a little bit more and get their attention on some other things. So it's not right what they're doing. It's right that we work with Comanche Peak and Somerville County and do the best we can, and we do. But the federal government is just getting real carried away with FEMA and what they want to do. They say it's all for the best to take care of the citizens, but we need to sit down and talk about this a whole lot more. So I guess I better get off my soapbox.
It's okay. We like to hear about what's going on.
Well, people need to know, because a lot of people don't know what all goes on behind the scenes with county government, with emergency management, with law enforcement, and there's people know that they get up, they go to work, they go to school, they have their lives, they go home, they do things on nights and weekends, and life goes on. And
right.
But there's a whole lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes, and that a lot of people just take for granted that, well, it's being handled, don't worry about it. But there's a lot that goes into it, and the bottom line is a lot of it just takes a lot of money to make it happen. People move down here from the Metroplex and they say, well, I moved down here because taxes were cheaper. Well, okay, but then they expect a lot of things.
Yeah.
And all those things take a lot of money. So with things that I have control of with my deputies, we get them out there to serve the citizens, serve and protect just as fast as we can get them out there to take these calls and to help the people. But some people, it's never fast enough or never quite good enough. And yeah, I would love to have a bunch more deputies on the street. And the caseload keeps building up, so yeah, I'd love to have more investigators. And it was talked about building an addition to the jail or a new jail quite a few years ago, but it all takes millions of dollars to do all that. So we try to do the best we can with what we have, and we'll continue to do that until things can get better.
Awesome. Well, if you guys don't have anything else for us, I guess we're going to see you next week then, huh?
We'll be back.
Well, we definitely appreciate you coming in and telling us everything. And even if you do get on your soapbox, it's okay. We don't mind. And I guess we'll see y'all next week then.
All right.